Hi everybody, it's Meredith Rose. Welcome to Masters with Mary, where we'll do self-tuning that you can do at home during this pandemic. It's becoming pretty clear that the very best thing that we can do for ourselves is to stay potent, stay strong, stay spiritually connected, and to build the immune system. So if you like, here's some things that you can do every morning as a general tune-up for yourself, which will bring you general joy and increased mental clarity and a feeling of real aliveness in your body. Now, of course, you can do whatever the hell you want, but you could do these, you could do one of them, you could put it on pause, you could do a few of them, you could sit out the rest, you could just, but enjoy. So let's begin. There are 9 steps, 9 different things that you can do in the morning. First off, so number 1, and you may have become acquainted with this one before in a hands lesson, but you remember that you have the tiger's jaw here. This is the wisdom of the Tao from Qigong. And you hit these 2 together. So you can do this 9 times, you can do this 18 times, you can do this just a few times. But in my view, since we begin by using the hands in the morning, it's a really great thing to do to bring that kind of fluidity and mobility into your hands. Next thing is you have some points on yourself. There's a kidney point that you can touch and you can stimulate the kidneys so that you purify yourself. And also, if there's any fear that you might hold in the kidneys, in the wisdom of the Tao, they believe that fear is stored in the kidneys. So this is a great way to flush any kind of emotions that you don't need to carry around with you. So if you find with your fingertips your collarbones and you go straight in on your collarbones to that big lump on the inner side of each one, and then you go down about 1 inch, you'll find an indentation here. And so you can just tap this area. It's nice to breathe, just tap the area. Again, you can do this 32 times, or you can do this just a few times, depending on how much time you want to spend. And then dropping down, just a little way down on your sternum, is an area that with your gentle, with a kind of a soft fist, you can just kind of, I like to do this sort of rhythmically, but this builds up your immune system. There's a visual that you can use also when you're building your immune system, is to imagine that all the areas in your body that are fighting any illness, imagine them all coming together really strongly and then bursting into blossom like beautiful white fragrant flowers. Great, and then there's a point here right at your cheekbones that you can just gently tap with your curled fingers. This is a way to stimulate the digestion, stomach. It's also nice as a way to kind of clear the sinus if you're having any allergies or sinus issues. It kind of stimulates and clarifies the sinus as well. Next, you can just simply pull or stroke along your forehead. So you can take your fingertips and put them in the center of the forehead, and then just again with the curled fingers, just very firmly pull along the forehead out to the temples as you're breathing, of course. And do that again. This brings clarity into the forebrain. If you're feeling confused or in panic and you can't think, you can't make decisions, just simply bringing the circulation and the awareness back to the forefront of your brain can be very, very helpful. And by the way, if you are caught in a fight or flight moment, you can just simply place fingertips on the outside edges of your eyebrows, just a little farther down, sort of in between the tip of your eyebrows and the edges of your eyes, and just hold that for a moment, and it will soothe the fight or flight. And it'll help you to change from the sympathetic nervous system, which is ready to take action, which is a great thing to have, but sometimes you don't need it. And then it turns it into the parasympathetic, the more relaxed, the restful, the healing state. So another thing in this third step is you gently pull down on the crown of the head, again with the gently curling fingers. In the wisdom of the Tao, they believe that the qi runs from top to bottom. So when you do this, it's as though you're containing your own energies. You're bringing your energy back down into the self. Helps you be in the body, be calm. And just gently soothe nerves. And then in order to relax the neck, you can just stroke the neck, say 4 or 5 times on one hand. Stroke from, say, almost the bones of the head down through the side of the neck. And then on the other side. Very relaxing to the neck and shoulders. You can even release chronic pain this way. Again, it increases mental clarity and subdues any jangled nerves. Also nice just to stroke the neck. This is great to move the lymph and also to stimulate the skin of the neck. Okay, next thing is we're going to stand. And this is a funny thing. You're actually just going to slap the entirety of the surface of your body. So let's begin. And we did this in a hand lesson also, but you just begin on the inside of your arm and slap all the way down. And then up the outer side of your arm. Paying attention to this area right here on the outside, up on top. You can do that twice. This is great for so many things. It gently kind of moves your fascia around. It gives your bones a chance to breathe and form new patterns. It moves the lymph. And then just gently come over the chest area. This is your heart and your lungs. And then do that on the other side. On the inside again. Outside, you can just gently move along the sides of your ribs here. These are lymphatic points also. And then let's do the legs. So you can kind of crouch down, you can stand and do this, or you can put the leg up. You go over the outer side of the leg and then up the inner side. Be really aggressive with this. This just brings all kinds of potency into the physical body. Do the back of the leg also. Pathways that move down the back of the leg. The foot. And then let's try the other leg. Inside. Foot. And then along the back of the leg. And then let that go. Maybe take a little rest. Okay, so in the back, in the spine, the very most crucial and central part of yourself, you have your tailbone at the bottom, and then you have your sacrum, which are these very strong fused vertebrae, which are kind of designed right in the middle of the torso. So just simply rub along the tailbone. Stimulate this area. The Chinese call this the pump. And if you sit on the pump, you can imagine that the cerebrospinal fluids do not flow up into the brain. So just stimulate this area and rub the kidneys also. And then with your fists, just strike this area. It's not that easy, actually, but you'll get the hang of it. And if you can't strike this area with your fists, you just sort of gently round the back, and then you just hit the glutes here too. It's really good. If it doesn't seem to work to use your fist, just slap this area and also slap the back of your head. This will allow the cerebrospinal fluid to move up and down through your spine. Take a little rest. Next is just to simply move through the hips. You're moving the hips around as though you were drawing a little circle with your tailbone on the floor in between your 2 feet. I actually learned this in a belly dancing class. The idea was to scoop with your hip bone as though you were scooping ice cream. And then let's try it the other way. You may have one way of rotating that's easier for you than the other, just based on the way that your spine is. So you're just scooping the ice cream with that hip bone. And then just a funny movement where you decouple the sort of, the head and the chest and the pelvis. So just move your pelvis. And then just move your shoulders. Let your head move side to side. And then see if you can move the head and the shoulders in different directions. Let's see. Let's go like. And then just a little swinging. So swing the arms up overhead as though you were going to clap, and then let them come down. You can do that 9 times, or a lot of times, or just a few times. And then the swinging of the arms side to side. So you're not really doing this like a dance step. You're just letting the arms with centrifugal force move around. And kind of fall very heavily on the sides of yourself, on your kidneys and back. Take a little rest. Walk around, sit down, put this on pause, have a drink. And then we were talking about the cerebrospinal fluid. It needs to move up and down through the spinal column into the brain. So if you can just move yourself, sort of like a snake, where you bring the hips forward and let the top of your spine go back. Bring the top of your spine forward when the bottom part of your spine goes down. So it's sort of like you're making an S curve like this, or like the movement of a snake. Just to let all those vertebrae open up and contract. So it's as though in each of the little joints of the vertebrae, you're folding and extending them. All right, there's one more. And this is a way of just kind of letting yourself be really, really loose. You just bounce on your heels and let your whole self shake. Just let your whole self shake. Ah, beautiful. If you're still feeling any kind of something that's not quite at ease with yourself, just imagine that you're going to take a jump. When you organize your body to jump, it's astounding how the musculature adapts to such a natural movement, and it can kind of cure any little fixations or aches or pains that you have sometimes, of course. So thank you very much. I appreciate your presence. If you like the content, if you like to do these self-tunings at home, please like it and subscribe and comment. And I send you all my very best. Until another time.